Hello everyone, Captain Marty here. It's Tuesday, July the 8th, and the wind has really put a damper on some fishing over the last few days. The fishing report today is not long. There's really not a whole lot to report, but I'll tell you what is going on when I come back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Captain Jay Cudworth of the Kokomo with Paradise Dolphin Cruises at Safe Harbor Marina in Wanchese. I want to invite you to take a ride out on the Roanoke Sound to see the majestic bottlenose dolphins up close. As a native, I'll be telling you stories from these waters as a boy growing up in Wanchese. Nature and history have combined to make this area unique, and I love sharing this special place with special people. So come on aboard with me and my crew and experience the real beauty of the Outer Banks. For more information, go online to ParadiseDolphinCruises.com. Again, this is Captain Jay. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Locally owned and operated since 1971, Billy's Seafood has been providing the locals and visitors of the Outer Banks with some of the freshest seafood you'll find. Not too far off the beaten path down Collington Road in KDH, Billy's Seafood has become a landmark for those seeking top-notch seafood at affordable prices. Billy's Seafood also has beer, wine, grandma's tuna salad, and other groceries as well. To see more, go online to billyseafoodobx.com. Billy's Seafood, putting fresh seafood on your table for over 50 years.
I did not mean to be the bummer dude, but we had a lot of rain, which we needed, a lot of wind, and we dodged a tropical storm, so nobody's complaining. Nobody had to move their boats, their charter boats, their yachts. Everybody just sit tight, and compared to what the people are dealing with out in Texas, we had it made. Our worst problem is we couldn't go fishing too much in the Atlantic Ocean. So we'll take that. That comes with the territory. So the dolphin catches or mahi catches that the Oregon Inlet and Hatteras Fleet has had of late, mostly bailers, but in some good numbers, that was put on hold. The blackfins in Hatteras and the yellowfin tuna in Oregon Inlet, that was put on hold. There was even a few big eyes caught over the last couple of fishing days. And I was hanging around Pirates Cove Marina on the Manio Nags Head Causeway yesterday, doing some preparation work for the Pirates Cove Billfish Tournament, the Alice Kelly Ladies Only Tournament that starts the day ahead of that. And the very next tournament coming up is the Dare County Boat Builders Tournament. I was hanging around the marina and I talked to Carl Helmkamp and others around there, Carl on the Fistful, but it ain't looking too good for today either. So we'll just have to see what happens. This is part of the deal when we're fishing on Outer Banks. So really our Atlantic Ocean report was minimal. And then the report from the beaches and the piers was not much better. Now, from Cape Point north all the way to the Virginia state line, you would at least have the wind on your back. And there was a continued bluefish and Spanish mackerel bite in the morning on some of the northern piers, meaning north of Oregon Inlet. And there's still a few sea mullet, a scattered pompano, a puppy drum every once in a while on the southern beaches, but none of that is really noteworthy for being great fishing. But it is the kind of fishing, like we always said, you can go do. There is never a day on the Outer Banks that you can't fish somewhere if you want to go bad enough. So that will be going on. You need to gear up, get your local tackle shop to rig you up with a double hook bottom rig and some fresh bait. The fresher the better, and that's why you go to a local tackle shop, because they go out of their way to get you the very freshest bait. Bait that's 24 hours old, thawed out bait, it's got 50% less catchability. Sometimes you don't have any choice. It may be all you can get, but really, if you have a good resource for fresh bait, you need to throw yesterday's bait out, get rid of it, and start with fresh bait every day. It makes a lot of difference. Surf fishing, pier fishing report, is just kind of uniform. Bluefish, Spanish mackerel, sea mullet, spots, and croakers. No matter where you go, every tackle shop, their fishing report, it sounds like a pick to me, but that's okay. A pick is better than moving boats for a hurricane by a long shot. So we'll take a little pause and I'll come back and talk to you about the backcountry in just a moment.
At Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway, not only can you get stocked up with all the bait, tackle, and amenities necessary to fish, but you can also be your own captain. That's right. At Fishing Unlimited, you can rent one of their spacious pontoon boats to go fishing, crabbing, dolphin watching, or just to cruise the Roanoke Sound. It's family fun at its finest. Half-day and full-day rentals are available. Be your own captain at Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway.
So in the backcountry, that southwest wind can make that Pamlico Sound mighty rough. And that's the backcountry we've been talking about every day because there's a lot of stuff going on out there. We've talked about the sheephead bite is getting better and better for those people that want to fish on the bottom, that want to target a sheephead. Really great eating fish, great fighting fish. But really, most of the energy is going into the what's now open speckled trout season and for the red drum fishing. Those are two different kinds of fisheries. Sometimes you can blend them together, but this is the time of year when we get some folks out there on the shoals. Now, they like the wind. They like it a little rough, and they've been catching some yearlings, a few big drum, a lot of above slot puppy drum, and a few in the slot. When I say slot, that's the legal size where you can keep one per person. But again, you want to be really careful. This is where a professional guide is money well spent because they know where the lee is if they need to get in that. They know where the water quality is what the drum and the trout like, and that might be a little different between them. So you want to keep that in mind. And if you do book a backcountry boat, make sure it's a legitimate practicing backcountry boat with a licensed captain, insured, and ready to go. Ask those questions because there are people that will take a charter and they're not doing it really legally. So keep that in mind. And that's really about all I have for you. We are, as I mentioned at the beginning of the report, we're geared up for the Boat Builders Tournament coming up the last week of July. And we've got a couple really neat, longer podcasts coming up on our podcast segment. But I do encourage you to scroll on down from where you're at right now and look at where you find my stories. I mean, there's a lot of stories on there, really funny. Some are really scary. We talk about giant fish and long battles, man overboard, different characters I've known through the years. So if you're just coming for the fishing report and it's a little bit windy for fishing, go down there and listen to some of my stories. I think you'll be glad you did. And I hope you have a great day. May the good Lord bless you.